Today we're going to be hanging drywall for my new laundry and bathroom. Alright guys, so pretty simple. Today we're going to be working on hanging all the drywall here for my new bathroom and laundry room. So last time we got all of the electric run. I was holding off to put all the switches in place until I had the drywall, because you want those to be basically going over top of the drywall to get nice and tight. And I have done some drywall before. I did this whole bedroom here. It did end up coming out pretty good for my first time, so I have some experience. This definitely has some more little corners and stuff, so you can see here we're coming out a little bit, then going back in around the shower, coming out again for the linen closet. It's a little bit more tightly packed here, especially for doing inside the linen closet. We've got also the slider door here, and they did provide the proper screws to screw into that metal. But otherwise, like, this wall is very straightforward. I do know there's a few areas I need to add some support, like in this inner corner, so that I have somewhere for the drywall to hang in the corners. So I'll kind of do that as I go, as I see necessary. But I think most of my corners are in pretty good shape. As you can see here, I did a California corner, so that's ready to go. And also for inside the bathroom, I will be using most likely green board. There's also a purple board you can use. I know that's what was used in my other bathroom. I think the purple is just a little bit more mold and mildew resistant, but both are meant for bathroom applications where you have moisture. But then for the outside and the laundry room, I can just use some regular 1/2-inch drywall, and I'm planning to get it in 4x8 sheets because most of my runs are definitely gonna be less than 8 feet. And that's the biggest I can fit in my trailer. So that's gonna be the basic plan. Let's get started. All right guys, so drywall is finally finished. That was a lot of work. The hanging went pretty smoothly, still kind of slow just because there was a lot of cutting, especially around all of the shower walls, up top here and around, just a lot of corners everywhere, so a lot of small pieces. Also a lot of patching, so I had to patch around this light. There was a light there that I had to fill in. And then I also patched here where I added this light. There was a big rectangle. And then also patching in my wall here where I cut out to access my electrical and my plumbing. So generally the hanging is pretty straightforward. You just want to make sure everything is kind of at the same level and you don't have any big issues so that when you go to finish you don't have problems. So once I had everything hung, where I started doing all the mudding, basically I put some mud down, put the tape down, put some mud on top of the tape so that it is wet. If you keep it dry, it tends to peel off. So that's the first coat. Then I did a second coat over that to feather it out more, and then a final third coat that I wet the mud down more. It was pretty watery so that it was thin and so I could get a pretty nice finish on this. And I do have to sand now next, but I'm not gonna film that. It's gonna get a little bit dusty. I put it on pretty thin and cleanly, so I shouldn't have to sand too much. And one of the more unique areas was here around the shower. So basically I had to stop the drywall short of the shower about 1.5 inches. So then I had this big gap here. I had to stop it there because I had the flange of the shower walls and that was the whole way around. So to fill that in, I used some L bead. So this is the very edge of that L bead and then it went this way. And I used that so that could hold the mud pretty nicely. I screwed that in so that way I could mud it up flush with the rest of the drywall. And then I purposely left this gap here and that is the gap I will caulk. So once the caulk is in there, it should be a pretty clean finish. Obviously I do need to do some more sanding here because it was a little difficult to make all that perfectly smooth. And this time I did even drywall inside this closet. I didn't worry about doing too much on the final coat. I will sand it a little bit, but I'll have shelving in here and you'll never really know that it's not a perfect finish job. So that's not too big of a deal for me. But generally I'm pretty happy with how it went. I will not be doing any mud for a very long time because this was so much more work than doing this bedroom here. The bedroom was just these 2 outside walls and then basically just 2 inside walls, and I didn't do inside the closet in there. So this was, I don't know, 3 or 4 times the amount of sheets of drywall, and also I used about that much more mud. I ended up using 1 full 5-gallon bucket and then about another half of another one, so about 7 or 8 gallons of mud. So like I said, the next step is gonna be sanding, getting ready for the primer. Then I will be doing a primer on everything. I'm also putting a new coat on my ceiling here. You can kind of see how it's discolored at all the joints. That's because a couple years ago I had an issue with my wood stove that I was smoking out into the room and that discolored all those joints. So now is a good time to put a fresh coat on that ceiling. And you can see I started to tape off, and I also have this entire wall taped off because that is a fresh coat of paint from just about a year ago when I built that bedroom. So like I said, next time we're gonna be doing primer and paint, and then the steps after that I will be doing some flooring in both the bathroom here and the laundry room over there. So once we have the flooring in, then I can start looking at vanities, also doing the final light fixtures. I just put these simple ones in for now so that I could have some light here and also test all my connections. And once I get flooring and the vanity in, I can start installing all of the doors. I've got the pocket door down there, and then these are 2 regular doors. And the final step after that will be adding all the trim, but I'm gonna save that all for next time. So let me know what you think now with all the drywall up. You can start to see what it's gonna look like.